Well, look who it is. Hi friends, I'm Felicia. Welcome here. I'm back. It's been a long time. I look a bit like a ghost. Sun's shining directly in here, but that's okay. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since I've been here. I got new glasses. Still growing out my hair. Need a haircut. Bangs are crazy. Feel really out of practice. Don't know what to say. It's been a while. And why has it been a while? Wasn't in the mood to film, honestly. Just wasn't in the mood. So I feel like I'm a bit, let's do that. Okay, that's better. But yeah, wasn't in the mood. But here I am. It's October 2nd. I haven't updated you on anything I've read for the past 6 months. So there's a lot, and then that kind of was the reason too. It's like, oh man, I'm really behind on what I've been reading, and I've read a lot of stuff that I want to talk to you about, but now I'm not quite sure what how the best way to go around it is. What the best way, anyways. Grammar. So this is just kind of like a little chit chat, catch up, talk about Victober. It's Victober time, and what my plans are and what I've been reading and doing otherwise. So I have another sip of coffee. What I have been doing, especially in September, is not tons of reading. And I was going to tell you why. First of all, Chris and I started watching Downton Abbey for the first time. I've never watched it before. And we're obsessed, and that's all we do now. It's just Downton Abbey. So, I would die for Matthew Crawley. I would die for him. Okay, so let's all just be clear about that. Like, I was telling my friend the other day, it's like Mr. Darcy, Gilbert Blythe, Matthew Crawley. Those are like my top 3 fictional boyfriends. Matthew Crawley's not a book boyfriend, but fictional crushes of all time. So there's that. If you've watched Downton Abbey, the next episode that we have to watch, I have been spoiled for. And let's just say that I'm aware of when and how, the method of which Dan Stevens departed the show. And that is the episode that we have next to watch. I'm very crushed. I'm already crushed about it. Already will not forgive Dan Stevens for it. Chris already, yeah. I can't tell him. I hope he can't hear me. He's in the other room and I have the door closed. I hope he can't hear me. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to it. Not at all. Anyways, yeah, let me know if you are also a Downton fan. I'm now obsessed forever, so it's great. Yeah, when it came out, I remember I watched the first episode and I was like, these people are so petty and dramatic. Thinking specifically about Miss O'Brien and Thomas. Like, they still to this day can stuff it. But now, at my ripe old age of 34, absolutely love it, and we're just obsessed. I watched the pilot without Chris, and then I started watching the next episode when he was in the room and I was folding laundry, and then after about 10 minutes he's like, why are you watching this without me? Like, why would you watch this without me? I want to watch this too. So then we went back and we started watching from the beginning. And yeah, so that's all that we've been doing, is watching Downton Abbey. And then also, in conjunction with that, I am in love with Dan Stevens now. I'm sorry to tell you. So instead of reading, what I do is I have just been watching movies and shows that Dan Stevens is in. So not sorry about it. The other day I watched Eurovision. Why didn't anyone tell me in 2020 that it would cure my COVID depression? Why didn't anyone tell me about that movie? I saw it on Netflix. when it came out. I was like, oh, Will Ferrell, Rachel McAdams, cool. Maybe I'll watch it someday. Like, I should have been watching this movie for the past 2 years already. I'm very upset. Anyways. What I've watched a lot of things with Dan Stevens in it the last month. Colossal. That was great. If you watched Colossal, I would love to know. That was another movie that was on my radar because I thought it sounded interesting, like when it came out in 2016. And Annie Hathaway. We love Annie Hathaway. So, yeah, that one was really interesting. Yeah, anyways. So this is not going to become a Dan Stevens fan account, but just that's what's up. Okay, so anyways, it just feels so silly because, like, you know, I saw Beauty. Wow, I've been talking about this for a long time. Saw Beauty and the Beast. Saw him in Night at the Museum. I was like, yeah, cute. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, okay, no, I love him. Okay, anyways. Moving on. So what I have been reading lately, which is not a lot, I've been reading Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. Picked this up at the library. I'm halfway through and I am really enjoying it. This is very, very much like And Then There Were None vibes, which I'm liking. I really love that book. So yeah, really enjoying it. Need to actually just like sit down and read. Yeah, so there's this. I'm really in the mood for spooky mystery thriller vibes. That's what I'm here for right now. But also that brings me to it's Victober, which is the best month of the year, my favorite. So first I have to show you, well, I'll show you what I'm planning to read, and I have to show you what I got. This was completely influenced by Kim at the Paper Traveler. If you didn't know, I love Frankenstein. It's one of my favorite classics. And it has an audiobook narrated by Dan Stevens, which I have listened to before and I will listen to again this month. Just so you know, ridiculous. But anyway, so Kim at the Paper Traveler, a month or so ago, or I don't know, a while ago, she showed a book that she had bought, an edition of Frankenstein, and then she talked about it again in a more recent video, and I was like, no, I need this book. I need it immediately because I love Frankenstein. Okay, so we're talking about books now. And yeah, I had to buy it, even though it was like $35. It was expensive. But I needed it for my collection. So this is my new edition of Frankenstein. This is the Harper Muse Pretty Books editions. Look at this. I gasped when I took it out of the box. Look at that. Oh, I love it. And then you open it up and it looks like it has, did you see that? Gilded edges. And it has a ribbon bookmark. And then in, it just has like these pages every scattered throughout with that illustration. Oh, it's so beautiful. So my intention was that I was going to listen to the audiobook narrated by Dan Stevens. And you know what? What I might do is read it again physically. I'm not really great at the listening and reading. Maybe I'll do it. I don't know. But this is, oh, it's so beautiful. I can show you. This is my previous edition of Frankenstein. So now I have two. I'm so excited to read it. Okay. Anyways, and then I immediately ripped this thing, taking it off. I don't know how committed I am to keeping it. I also don't know why I ripped it because it's not like it was hard to put on. But so there's that. We'll be consuming Frankenstein in some format. And then what else I have? Okay, this is like truly embarrassing. Is that I have read 2 Bronte novels. I've read Jane Eyre 100 times. And I have listened to the audiobook of Wuthering Heights 1 time a decade ago. Okay? So I have quite a selection of Bronte novels. These are the physical ones I have, but I mean, of course, I would be open to collecting all of them. So I am thinking about, where is it? Hello? Where are you? Right behind me. Thinking about rereading Wuthering Heights because it's been a long time. So there's that. Then I have The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, which would love to read. And then I have two other books by Charlotte Bronte. I have Villette and I have Shirley. And these are both chonkers. So I don't know which one I will read. But I will read a Bronte novel. It will be one of these four. So please tell me which one I should read, if you are knowledgeable about that, and you can tell me. Then I have The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. I don't know. Oh yeah, I left the bookmark in here. I don't know if I'm going to read this one. This one's very long. Don't know if I will pick that up this month. I have really been in a mood for Thomas Hardy, and I have Tess of the D'Urbervilles, which I haven't read yet. So I may read this. I actually did start reading it, and apparently this is where I stopped. So I got that far, like 3 years ago. But yeah, I would like to go back and read this. And then I have Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell. I've watched the miniseries. Love it. Love it. So I'm quite excited to read this. I don't know if I will get around to it this month. Rainey and I, from Rainy Day Reads, sorry, my throat is scratchy. Rainey and I, we started reading Les Mis as a buddy read at the beginning of the year. I don't know, it was a long time ago. And I truthfully haven't even looked at it in months. But we did have an agreement that once we were done reading Les Mis, and we were going to read Cranford to like heal our sorrow from finishing Les Mis. But yeah, so I don't know. I'll probably save it, Rainy, and I'll stick to that if you want to still. But yeah, and then I have a bunch of like Victorian novels just downloaded for free on my Kindle. I have quite a few Dickens novels. I'd love to read any Dickens. The only book I've read besides A Christmas Carol of his is Great Expectations, which I adored. Yeah, would love to read more Dickens. So kind of like, we got like Bronte's, Thomas Hardy, Charles Dickens, maybe Elizabeth Gaskell. Those are kind of like what I want to focus on this month. I do also have an audiobook of Dracula, which I may listen to because I haven't listened to Dracula or read it since I was in college, so I would really like to revisit Dracula. And then that brings me to media that I will be watching this month, because guess what? When Dan Stevens was a baby, in 2006, 7, 8, 9, apparently what he was getting cast in was adaptations of Victorian novels. So he's in an adaptation of Frankenstein, of Dracula, and The Turn of the Screw. Which, Turn of the Screw, he starred in with Michelle Dockery, pre-Downton. So that already intrigues me. And I have figured out where I can watch all three of these. So I will be watching them this month. Also, he was Edward Ferrars in the 2008 Sense and Sensibility, which no one told me. And I've heard from some people that that's their favorite adaptation of Sense and Sensibility. So we'll be watching that one yet as well. But not for Victober because it's not Victorian. So that's my plans. So I have like 3 things with Dan Stevens to watch that all fit in the theme. Like, okay, sorry. There's a 98% chance that I have ADHD. Have not been diagnosed, so I won't say for sure. But like, this is like hyper focus. Yeah, obsession. It will fade. It will fade. I will be able to watch other people in things, but not right now. Oh gosh. Why am I telling strangers on the internet about this? It's terrible. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of like my reading plans for the next month. What I want to know from you is, I want to catch you up on the books that I've read. And it is hard for me to just like pick and choose because I would just like to talk about all of them probably. What I'm thinking of doing is breaking it up into genres and then making them into more reasonably lengthed videos. So you can pick and choose which ones you watch. You can skip around, that's fine. I think it might be easier for me too than by going month by month. But yeah. So let me know if you agree with that, or if I should just do like an hour-long video where I talk about all of the books from the past 6 months, and then, yeah. And then one more thing. So that's what I've been reading and watching. And what else have I been doing? Crafting. I have not been doing tons of crafting. All of a sudden I have like repetitive strain, tennis elbow, something in my elbow, hurting a lot. But this week it hasn't been as bad. So when it's not bad, I've been working on this, and I just finished it this morning at church. Yes, I bring projects to church because it helps me focus, because my hands are doing something, so then my brain can listen to the pastor. Again, ADHD probably. So I finished this, and it's a granny stripe on the bias. It's just a little wrap, and I love it. This yarn is a Karen cake, skinny Karen cake, and I just love it. And okay, this is the extreme amount of yarn chicken that I was playing. That is how much is left. Look at that. I barely made it to the end. I was so scared. I think the Lord was multiplying my yarn so I could make it to the end of the row. So I did it. So yeah, so there's this. And I don't know, I still need to sew in my ends and then probably try to block it. I think this is actually acrylic yarn, so who knows if it'll block, but it's just like a nice cozy thing. Okay, so that's what I've been up to. I've been talking for a long time. Apparently I've forgotten how to speak. I'm so sorry. Is that all I want to tell you? Yeah. Also, coming up next week, I will be going to a Michael Bublé concert with my friends. First concert in years, since 2018. So I'm really excited. Yeah. So that is what is up. So let me know how you are, how you've been. Hopefully you will see me more in the space, with maybe vlogs, craft updates, book updates. Could talk about movies and stuff that I've been watching, movies and TV. Love to talk about movies and TV. Yeah, so let me know how you are. I hope that you're doing well. And yep, that's it. So I hope that you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're enjoying what you're reading. And until next time, so long. Thanks for all the fish.